Hello, everyone, and welcome to our Road to the Playoffs Storm, Anaheim Storm edition. So we're going to go through their schedule, their 3 games, say how we think those are going to go. I am joined by two knuckleheads, Kale and Ty, who just finished their last classes, so they're happy. All right, so let's get into this. Their first game is the Underdogs, and this is kind of an interesting game because Coop, who is the owner of the Storm now, didn't take the offer that Granny Woodruff gave him for an extension with the Underdogs. So, Kale, let's hear your thoughts on this game.
There's a lot on the line in this game, Brock,
Yeah.
because the National Conference is 3 seed to make the playoffs. It's very wide open after you get, past the Cobras and the Rapids at the top. Then it's kind of Underdogs, Storm, and Bison all kind of there going to be fighting for that last spot. So that head-to-head it's going to be a big game. Ty, you just going to blow bubbles, or you have something intelligent to say?
This is not serious. I'm taking the Storm schedule because they're kind of.
So you're not taking the Storm seriously?
No. The only game, the Storm and the Bison will be a close game, which we'll get. But the Storm are not going to beat the Underdogs because this is what's going to happen. I will lay out piece by piece what's going to happen, and it will come true. Okay.
Okay.
Bob Koopman will come out throwing 80 miles an hour for 5 pitches.
Probably true.
And then will not hit the chair a single time, and then be like, okay, I need to slow it down. Starts like, still won't hit the chair, and then he'll put Nick in there, try and hit it. Nick won't hit the chair, and then
I really hope Nick does not
it'll be a
pitch.
10-run game. But it'll
By
be.
you think the Underdogs are going to 10-run them?
Do you think they can hit the chair? And if they can hit it, do you think they can pitch it at a speed where no one would strike out?
Yeah, I mean, I guess that's a good point. The biggest weakness in the Storm is their pitching. And the Underdogs actually have a good pitcher in Adam. My gosh. And Adam's a pretty good hitter, too. And Tierney can be a good hitter. So I think the Underdogs are going to win as well. Let's go around and say what, point spread.
Point spread, Underdogs by 3.5 or 4.
Okay.
Underdogs by 7 to 10.
Wow. Rock.
I'm going to say Underdogs by 2 to 3. So we'll have them losing game 1. All right. Let's move on to the next one, which is the Bison. Ty, you said this would be a good game. Why don't you expand on that?
This might be the best game in the tournament.
Let me tell you something, Brock.
Okay.
Give me high scoring. I'm calling it right now. I'm talking like combined 15 or more runs.
I can see that.
Because neither team has a good pitcher. And they're going to walk a lot of people. And they're going to, when they do, like, throw it in the zone, the teams aren't, like, terrible. They're below average, but they have a couple players on each team. And, like, Ty Franklin for the Bison and Nick Proudfit for the...
And Michael.
And Michael Screen.
Yeah, for the Storm, Nick Proudfit. So...
Yeah.
Those guys are going to be able to get a hold of balls in the zone that aren't coming in very fast because, if those pitchers want to be accurate, they're going to have to slow it down, and then those balls are hittable. And then, if they try to throw fast or whatever, they're going to miss and put people on base. So I think it's going to be high scoring.
Yeah, I see where you're coming from there because, neither team – I don't think neither team's very consistent pitching, and so they throw a lot of balls. So let's start. I'll start this. I think Coop probably won't like me for saying this, but I think the Bison are actually going to win this game, and I think the Storm are going to be 0-2 to start.
This is really weird because we we like kind of when the Storm came into the league for some reason we had them like kind of higher on our list, and now like as the time has gone by and we've like digested their roster and like thought about it more, it's like no.
Well, because
I'll give you my prediction. I think Bison in a close, high-scoring game by like 1.5. That'd be my point spread.
All right, Ty.
I agree. I think the Bison will win by like 2 or 3.
All right. And Kale, going to your point, I think part of the reason we thought that is because Coop came in like really excited.
Well, and he was
And
like,
I think we thought he was going to make a move and get someone.
yeah, that's what I was gonna say. He was really aggressive, like right out of the gate, trying to like make trades and like get a marquee like top 10, top 15 maybe like player, and it didn't happen. So now he's stuck with himself and Nick, and he'll get someone. You know, he really needs a pitcher. Colby Gaston's a name that I've heard. Yeah, that he's like trying to get in the league and get on a team, and he like is in high school and he pitches right now. So I mean, maybe he'll go to that. Maybe that's not. I don't know. I think he'll pick up. I think he'll still end up picking up somebody. I don't know if it'll be really a difference maker though. But I don't think this is the final roster that hits the field in JAL XIII.
Well, I go ahead.
I don't think that they would be as bad too if Coop didn't have one arm. Like he can't swing with his left arm.
I thought he was like going to be recovered from that by this
I
time.
don't know. I thought
Well, but honestly, Coop at the plate. I mean, does it really matter if he has one arm or two?
Well, he's talking about pitching, I think.
no.
Yeah.
Coop wasn't that bad of a hitter. He like
Okay.
fouled off a lot, but he wasn't awful. I mean, he wasn't.
Low average.
I'm just saying, it made a big difference in the last one because it didn't even end up playing.
Yeah. Well, I think we all agree that
They don't have any playmakers, Brock. They don't
Yeah.
have any like, difference makers on the team.
yeah, they need
They're all just they're two guys that are just good role players. That's what they are.
All right, ready to move on to the last one?
Yep.
All right. Last game for the Storm in the regular season is the Wrecking Crew. Now, so far, we know very little about the Wrecking Crew. So let's just go around and Kale, what do you think is going to happen in this game?
Well, I think that the Wrecking Crew are going to end up being a lot like the Bambinos were in the last tournament, where they got a lot of raw talent on the roster. Just they don't have any experience, and that'll show early on for them. But once you get toward the end of the tournament, you know you'll start seeing what their potential is. And the fact that this game is at the end of the tournament doesn't bode well for the Storm.
Yeah.
You know, I think in the Wrecking Crew's like first game, maybe two, you know, they'll still be like figuring it out, getting a feel for like the way the game's played and, you know, all that kind of stuff. But by the third game, you know, I'd expect them to like, you know, have worked that out.
Have it together. Yeah.
And so, I mean, if the Wrecking Crew are as good as I think they could be, kind of like I don't expect them to be like a contender. But I expect them to be something like the Bambinos. And, I mean, the Bambinos right now would kill the Storm, in my opinion. So,
Yeah.
I have to say, when we get to that third game, the Wrecking Crew are going to win by like 4 or 5 runs. Maybe.
All right. Ty?
10 runs. Yeah, it'll be a 10-run game.
Wow.
You know,
Because
too,
this is what'll happen. I'm just predicting it. The Wrecking Crew will have 2 games under the belt, like Hale talked about. Good athletes. Aaron Deeser just seems like a good baseball player. And Coop and Nick will be so crap down in their with pitching or batting, either one. And they'll just be like, this game doesn't matter. Which, I mean, Coop might come out throwing heat and just hit the chair. But
you know, Brock, I think if this game I think a lot of how the score will turn out will depend on what the two teams' record is going into the game.
Yeah.
Because the American Conference is really tough. You're probably going to have a 2-1 record to get in. So if you know, the Wrecking Crew are 1-1 going into that game or something, and you know it's going to come down a point differential for them, they might really go after them and blow them out like Ty was saying. But if they're like not, maybe they don't take it serious. Maybe the Storm, beat the Bison or something, and they're 1-1 going into that game, and they're trying to, get that 3 seed in the playoffs.
Yeah.
So it's just going to be what team's going for what. I think will end.
Yeah, I think this game has the potential to be a very important game for both teams, in terms of making the playoffs or not. I'm gonna go with you guys too, though. I think the Wrecking Crew are gonna win. Because the more I've talked to you guys, specifically Ty, I don't know. It just seems like they're gonna at least beat some talented kids, athletic kids, and I just keep going back to the Storm's pitching. I just don't think it's gonna work.
So who the heck do they play?
Record?
No, the Storm. The first game is
Underdogs, Bison.
Underdogs, Bison, Wrecking Crew. And what's the underdog schedule?
Underdog schedule. Gosh, we just did this video.
It was.
I got it. Underdogs play the Storm, then the Lynx, then the Cobras.
Okay. Hey, now, if the Storm could pull off an upset against the Bison, they could actually get the 3 seed. Because the Underdogs play the Lynx and the Cobras, and they could get blown out by those 2 teams. And then take the point differential. I mean, because
that's what I'm saying. This could be a big game for both teams because of that. And also for the Wrecking Crew, we'll do their schedule another time. But they have a schedule that's, they have a chance to go 2-1 and make the playoffs.
This would be my strategy for the Storm. You're not going to win. Lose as well as you can for the first and third games, and then just you got to win that second game somehow.
They have to beat the Bison to have a chance.
Because the Cobras and the Lynx could put some points on the board against the Underdogs, especially if Adam's not pitching well.
Yeah,
if he's pitching well, then enough chance.
All right. Anything else to say?
Bigger picture, Brock. So we all have them going 0-3, right?
Yeah.
All right. Well, let's say they made it to the playoffs. Would they get 10 run by either the Rapids or the Cobras in that game?
I think so.
Somehow they avoided not having to play any of the contenders in this schedule.
Wait, who do the Bison play?
Well, that's for another video. But I'm saying Storm versus a contender. What I mean by a contender is like Express, Lynx.
Yeah, it's not close game.
That's kind of who we've identified as the teams that can, maybe win it.
Well, they ain't gonna be playing anyone from that conference because
if they would have to play one of those teams in the playoffs. Would it be a 10 run or could they? Huh?
I think so.
Yeah.
Do you not or?
No. I think it would with any of those 4.
Yeah. All right. That is the schedule review for the Storm. Thanks for joining us. We'll have more coming later. So check those out. See you later.